I'm going to jump into the 4 things that you can do to get a very, very clear and consistent focus on a long-term goal. Now, before I go into that, I'm going to ask you this question, and you're probably going to resonate with everything that I'm about to say, because so many people fall into these ruts. They fall into a rut of, I'm lacking motivation, I'm procrastinating on my goals, I kind of set a goal, and then I decided that I want this goal, or I want this goal, or I'm just overwhelmed with the amount of goals that I have. And so what happens is we just kind of don't go towards anything, and we have this kind of feel-good mental masturbation of thinking about a goal, but not actually grabbing it by the throat and obtaining it and deciding that we're going to have it. So there is a distance between having, wanting, and actually in the in-between, which is what we're going to talk about in this video, which is the doing. All right. So I think goal development is a skill. Not just goal development, but setting them, attaining them, developing them, making them real. And I even think it's like a woo-woo out there type of spiritual idea, because I think it is a manifestation. It's creating reality. I know you're thinking, you're probably like, oh my God, another manifestation guy. But I want to ask you something that's going to make you think a little differently about this topic. Everything in your life you created. And if you disagree with that statement, then you're a victim. There's no in between and there's no blurred lines. You're either creating what you have now, or you're just a victim, and you're a victim to circumstances and you have no say in your life. So there's really no in between. So the first step of actually handling this is we got to get out of the victim mentality, and you got to take responsibility for reality for where it is now. All right. Once you can do that and you can confront what is in front of you, what reality looks like now, the solid matter that we're in. Okay. This is what it is. That is the first step to changing it. That's the first step to actually shifting it and becoming something else. All right. The second step here is you're probably setting goals that you yourself don't actually want because you've never experienced them. Let's say somebody wants to travel the world, but they also want to grow their office business, a business that requires them to be in a specific location. So they have this brick and mortar, location dependent business that's their goal is to grow that business, but they also want to live on the road. So there's this clear dissonance, and deep down, the people who set goals like that, they know. So the first step here is to get really, really specific on how everything connects. Okay. But before that, you need to know your purpose. So I'll ask you this. Do you know your purpose? I want you to write down on a piece of paper, on a scale of 1 to 10, how on purpose do you feel? 1 is a leaf in the wind. 10 is a lasered in, focused, dialed human being who knows exactly where they want to be, what they want to do with their life, and they're living it. They're living it right now. Do that and drop in the comments on this video, where do you stand? If you're anything below a 10, this is always going to get in the way of every single goal that you have. So how do you find purpose? How does somebody really connect with a purpose? So what I'll tell you right now is purpose means, by definition, it is a reason for being. So who are you? Why are you here? You probably have specific strengths, talents, affinities, things that you're drawn to do, things that you can't help do. Okay. Maybe it's swimming. Maybe if you could spend the rest of your days smelling roses and creating a garden, you'd be so happy. But what happens is we get in this rut of thinking, oh, this guy over here said I can't do that. I can't make money doing that. So I have to go create a marketing agency. And it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous to think about. It's not the way to build a life. The way to build a life is to, first, you got to collect the things that you love doing already. And here's the hint, you're probably already doing those things. Now, what we want to do is we want to expand upon that. because life, it follows a simple process. Like sometimes we kind of want to like climb the top of the mountain and like you want to achieve stuff, but life isn't just achieving things. But on the flip side, we also want to like go and live. We want to be present to the moment. So there's this kind of like, I don't know if I want to live or I want to be like achieving stuff. Will I be happy later? What's the answer? The answer is by living on purpose. It's both. It's an integration. So you have purpose, but you also have goals that you're achieving. Now, the key here is to set those goals and filter them through the lens of your purpose. What does that mean? Well, does this goal allow me to express more of the thing that I want to do? If it's planting roses in a garden, well, if you start a gardening business, well, then you're going to do that thing all the time. And this is the old saying, like, follow your bliss. It's real. That's really what you should do. So it all starts as kind of like the foundation. Purpose is that foundation. The next thing here, and I'm going to go into kind of like the strategy of setting the crystal clear goals, is essentially number 2, set crystal clear, specific goals. What does that mean? Well, most people's goals are vague. I've taken thousands and thousands of calls with people and I ask them their goals and they don't know what it is. They don't have a specific idea of what they want, and they don't know when they want it. They don't know where they want it, and it's vague, and you can't create something like that. If you were an engineer and I was giving you the blueprints to build a home and it just kind of said, I want something that's really nice, make it really colorful, and I want it on a hilltop. You're just going to be like, oh, I kind of have an idea of a location. I know you want it to be colorful, but I need specific schematics. Like I need to know every angle. I need to know what the interior is. I need to know where it is. I need to know how many windows. I need to know what type of windows. I need to know every single aspect of this building, because without that, there's going to be a lack of clarity, but there's also going to be like one thing out of place. The whole thing's going to fall apart. So you got to get really, really specific. It's really the only way to create reality. So like I have a journal where I'll experience something and I'll go and I'll test drive a car, or I'll go into a home and I'll write out the things that I like about that house or that car. And I'll start to realize what I really want. But when I start to write out the story of what it looks like, I'm insanely specific, because I know the only way that I am going to create that reality is through my senses. So that is a cat, I think. I hope, because that was a really loud cat. I'm gonna edit that out. So I know I can only experience my reality through my senses. So the way that I'm trying to set these goals is through the lens of me seeing it, feeling it, knowing it. Wow, that's the loudest cat I've ever heard. I hope it's okay. So the way that I want to set these goals is very, very specifically. So I'll even get down to like the date. When do I have this goal set? Where am I? Who am I with? What am I wearing? And you kind of reverse engineer how you're going to create that goal. And if you're like setting goals for a company, well, then you got to get really, really specific on the numbers and the financial numbers of that goal. So for example, some of the the numbers for the company that I am building are in alignment with the lifestyle that I want to create. So I might get a lot of flack for this because a lot of people don't agree with it, but for me, I go lifestyle first, and then I reverse engineer what it costs to have that lifestyle. And then from there, I reverse engineer the numbers in the business, which are called key performance indicators, or KPIs, that I need to hit to create that outcome. But I also do it with time. So what is the business model that creates time? Okay, so a lot of people, they create business models that take a lot of their time, like one-on-one type of mentorship, or a program, or something that requires them to be there. And I don't want that because I also want control over where I am. Or there's location independence. So you might have to do it online and you got to integrate that into the business. So the lifestyle will come first. You get really specific on, okay, how much free time do I want per day? How much money do I want? Where am I spending that money? How much are the things that I want costing me? You connect it all together, but then the vehicle that you're creating, which is the business or the life that you have or the career, has to be conducive with the thing that you want to create. And so if it's not, then you have to start to handle it and you got to kind of morph it into the thing that's going to give you access to the life. For example, I'll tell you a story. I used to work in sales, and now it gave me a lot of the financial life that I wanted. And, you know, I was increasing my income month after month after month. I was getting the skills. All those things are a part of my value system. But I was spending all day long creating money and doing the thing that creates the money, which is being on calls. But that's not what I wanted. And so it felt off. And when it feels off, that means I wasn't as clear as I should have been to create the goals that I wanted. Okay. Now, if like a part of my purpose is like spending all day on calls with people, that's fine. But like, I'd rather be doing this and creating videos and teaching. So I shifted. All right. So you can kind of shift and pivot. The second thing here, now you're making sure, I'm gonna do a recap because you have purpose, and purpose is essentially what do you want to do all day long? How do you live? How do you want to live? It's your ideal state of being. And it's kind of like, it's like if you're doing the thing that you're built for, it's going to provide a lot of more value for other people around you. Okay. So if it's gardening, if it's sales and talking to people, if it's videos, for me, a big part of mine is like creating videos. That's where my flow state is. So, well, is that conducive with the long-term goals, which is the second part, creating goals, but I'm filtering it through the purpose. All right, simple enough. Purpose, goals. Third part here is you need to set proper expectations for the reality that you're going to create. So the reality that you're creating, it's going to stir up some shit, all right, for lack of better words. Now, for example, if you're going to go create, like if you're Elon Musk and you're going to say, hey, humans are going to go to Mars. Is that where he's sending people? Mars? If people are going to go to Mars, well, that's a huge goal and it's a reality shaking and shifting goal. It's a massive, like, what's the word? It's a massive disruptive goal, a goal that's disrupting and it's shaking. It's going to piss people off. If he went and said, hey, I'm going to go create that goal, but he's like, I hope it's a smooth ride the whole way. Well, he's setting himself up for failure because he's expecting the wrong things. Now, he is a realistic guy. He's going to be like, yo, I'm going to like, yeah, I can go and hit this goal, but it's going to be years and years of work. It's going to take all of my time. But it's so in alignment with my purpose, I don't care. I will do anything to hit that goal. That's how you know he's going to hit it, because he has his proper expectations. Some people aren't built for that, and that is okay. Not everybody has to be Elon Musk. Right? If you have a value of having a more fulfilling and calm lifestyle, well, then don't go and create I'm not going to go create a spaceship that goes to Mars. It's just not in alignment. So you have to have proper expectations, because any goal that you set is going to be met with resistance. Any goal, anything you want, it has to be worth fighting for. So you have to set something that you're willing to go through some sort of shit for, okay? There has to be a proper expectation. The smaller the goal, the more insignificant the goal, the less people are going to try to stop you, the less competition you're going to have. There's just not going to be as much, because this life is a game. And anytime you want to go past the finish line, you want to create a goal, you want some points, you want to win, you're going to be met with a challenge, a boss, resistance. Okay, something's going to get in your way that you have to overcome, and that creates the journey, and that's what makes it fun. So you kind of want to expect that And what most people do is they don't set something that's worth going through some of that shit for, and they get hit with some resistance and they give up. Okay, so you got to know that. Number 4, you want to make it achievable, but you don't want to make it too small. So the way that I set goals, a lot of people, they set 10, 20-year goals, and it's way too far away, and it's like they're just not happy until they hit the goal, and they kind of screw around because it's not close enough. Some people, they set goals that are only like a week away, and they hit the goal and then they give up. It's a balance of in between. What I like to do is you want to have your 10-year goals, you want to have your 5-year goals, you want to have, 4, 3, 2, 1-year goals. But I like to start with the long-term goal and some of the goals that are going to put me in the best position possible to be able to create the bigger goal. So if I do this, will it help me achieve the longer-term goals as well? And they're not just totally random goals. For example, one of the things that I'm building right now, it is a business that's it's a shorter term goal. Okay. It's a good business that I want to have, but it's going to allow me to create a software, and the software is going to allow me to do bigger things that I want to do. So it's all kind of reverse engineered. So you want to make it to where it's kind of like you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but there's all these other tunnels after that tunnel. So you can beat the game, you can beat the battle, but there's this bigger war that you're playing. Okay. So you want to be able to kind of reverse engineer all of it and have some fun while you do it. So you have some sort of wins as you go along. So you don't get discouraged and totally fall off. Okay. So to reverse engineer this, to bring this all back, start with your purpose, then your goals, filter it through your purpose, make sure those goals are freaking rock solid and it's exactly what you want, then have the proper expectations of the challenges that you're gonna meet, freaking knock those challenges out, and then have more achievable goals, things that you can hit, and have some wins along the way and have fun. So that's pretty much how you reverse engineer this whole thing, build a path to success, enjoy your life while doing it, and live in purpose. So if you want a more systematic way to create these goals and something that is more like concrete and that you can just kind of plug and play, I've already done the heavy lifting for you, so you don't got to figure it out. Join the Facebook group below. Let me know that you do want some more help in doing this, and I'll send you a message. We'll talk. We'll see what happens. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.